Good morning, girls. Welcome back to a new video. I just got inside. I took the kids on a bike ride. It is 9 a.m. and it is already 84 degrees outside. I'm all sticky. I was planning on getting all dressed and ready for you to film this video, but Kaya just took the kids to the pool and I was like, this is my time. This is my time to shine and to talk with the girls. So I am finally just having my greens for the day. We've had quite the busy morning already, and I figured that I would hang out with you girls today because I want to share with you some quick fixes that every mom needs to have in their back pocket when we are on our journey to balancing our hormones, because hormone imbalances are something that I see on a daily basis inside my nutrition practice, and it's something that I hear from each and every one of you, whether it is here on YouTube in the comment section or over on Instagram in my DMs or in my comments. So the journey to balancing your hormones can be something that is time and labor intensive. However, I know that we are all looking for mini and micro wins along the way. And balancing your hormones is something that is a journey, because whether you are trying to conceive, you are postpartum, you are somebody who's perimenopause, menopause, postmenopausal, this journey to balancing your hormones is going to look different from everybody. It's also going to look different throughout your life and the different phases of life that you're in. For me, when I was 35 years old and I was balancing my hormones after having children, is something that is very different than today as a nearly 41-year-old mother. So I'm excited to share some really actionable tips that I know each and every one of you are going to walk away thinking, that is something I can absolutely get started with today and begin applying into my own life. Because when we set the bar really high, like you need to go get 15 vials of blood work, then we need to book a lab review, which I would love for you to do that. I do think it is really important to take a peek under the hood and do a big deep dive. That way we can put together a personalized plan for you. However, I know that when we set that as the first step for anybody to get started, it really can be discouraging. Whereas if we get started with a few quick tips that I'm going to share with each of you today, it helps us get the momentum. Then when you begin to start feeling better, when you have more energy, you start to make the time to go get the lab work, to do the meal planning that we did in last week's video, which if you missed last week's video, it was my hormone healing summer meal prep. Check that out after today's video. But when you start to do and use the momentum from today's video, you will more likely to have that energy to do a deeper dive into really recalibrating your hormone health and ensuring that you feel stabilized and that you're taking a proactive approach to feel the best that you quite possibly can. Greens and creatine, I thought we would pop into the office because I want to talk with you about the different tips, because if you're feeling tired and moody and you're craving chocolates and sweets and salty foods throughout the month, and you're wondering why your energy consistently feels off, and you honestly feel like you're doing all the right things. You're like, I'm getting in my 10K steps, Jessica. I'm taking my magnesium. I'm going to bed at a consistent time, but I still feel off. Things still don't feel like they are clicking. Well, today I'm going to bring you clinically backed things that I use in my private one-on-one nutrition practice. I also use these very same teachings and lessons and clinical approaches in my Living Well membership area, but I'm going to share with you clinically backed strategies that you can bring into your already very busy lifestyle. No fluff, no overwhelm, just these tools that I know will actually move the needle to help you feel better. So hack number one, this might come as a big surprise, but my number one hack for a quick fix to help balance your hormones, and that is to regulate your nervous system. Now, I know that we hear nervous system being thrown all over the internet, whether it is here on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. It feels as though nervous system regulation has really taken off. And I've been sharing about the importance of regulating your nervous system for 7 years. And that is because, as I said, clinically and scientifically, there is an extreme amount of evidence how an imbalanced nervous system, a nervous system that does not feel safe, has a very troublesome and hard time regulating your endocrine system. So our nervous system is actually the command center for our hormones. So whether it is our adrenals, our thyroid health, blood sugar, which we will absolutely talk about more, blood sugar, our sleep, our ability to have stable cortisol throughout the day, all comes back to having a regulated nervous system, which is so critically important. So from the time I wake up until the time I go to bed, when I'm thinking through how I feel in this very moment, ways that I could get myself to feel more stable, more energized, more calm, cool, and collected, I am always coming back to my nervous system. And I talk about this a lot, but one of the best things that you can do is to get adequate sleep, to have proper hydration, and then to develop a routine and a plan that will help you feel more stabilized throughout the day. So for me, my bookends are really important to stabilizing my nervous system. So waking up before my children, having my lemon ginger tonic first thing in the morning, doing that with a little bit of salt under the tongue, and then I do a little bit of gratitude journaling, or I do meditation and EFT tapping. So EFT tapping probably is my number one preferred way to regulate my nervous system because it is absolutely free and it only takes your own two hands. If you are blessed to have your own two hands, then you can absolutely regulate your nervous system in as little as 3 minutes. So EFT tapping, while I know it seems very woo, it is actually backed by quite a bit of substantial science. So using your hands, we tap on different meridian points. So similarly to acupuncture and acupressure, we are doing a repetitive tapping. So you start with the back of your hand, and sometimes you will notice that these points feel very sensitive. I like to tap with the thoughts that are making me feel overwhelmed or stuck first. So let's just use overwhelm as a great example. Everybody's home. I just said, Kaya took the kids to the pool. I have a little bit of time here with you girls where the house is quiet, but that's not always the case, especially in the summertime. Or maybe you have impeding deadlines. Maybe you have a lot of things on your plate right now. Maybe you're not feeling as stable as you would like to when it comes to your health and wellness routine. You can tap, and I like to start with, again, the things that are making me feel a certain type of way. So let's go ahead with overwhelm. I like to start on the back of the hand and then move through. So I like to tap between 3 and 5 times. You'll need to use your intuition a little bit here just to see what feels good. But I would start here and I would say, I feel really overwhelmed right now. And I would tap there. And then I move on to the top of the head. Things right now are feeling really overwhelming. And I know it feels weird to say the thing and to tap along with it, to say the thing that is stressful, but you want to acknowledge this. You don't want to gaslight yourself into thinking that your problems aren't real. And then you move into the eyebrow. Right now, things are feeling really overwhelming. I don't like feeling out of control. This is a big one for me. I use this one quite frequently because I find that when things feel too big or out of control, that can be a huge trigger for me. I don't like that things feel out of control right now. Then you move to under the eye. When things feel out of control, I don't feel safe. Again, that's a root for me. I'm saying the things that to me help me uncover why my nervous system might be having a visceral reaction. Then moving to under the nose. When I don't feel safe, it makes it hard for me to take action. When I don't take action, I don't feel worthy. Right? You can really get deep here. When I don't feel worthy, it makes it hard to show up as my best self. And just tap through. So now we've done a full cycle of the things that are tough, okay? Then you move into the things that are positive. It's okay to feel out of control sometimes. I know that everything is temporary. Right now, I feel overwhelmed, but I'm already feeling better. As I feel better, things don't seem as big. I know I'm capable of handling whatever comes my way. Do you see how things shift? Hopefully you can feel it because things feel different in my body. And hopefully whenever you find the words for you, you'll notice the difference as well. As my energy changes, I know I'm capable. I trust myself that I can handle anything. I feel so proud of myself for being able to show up even when things are hard. And you can go through and do another round. And then I just like to go like this and kind of wipe my hands, take a deep breath, and exhale. EFT tapping, emotional freedom technique is EFT tapping, is one of my favorite ways to regulate your nervous system. There are other simplistic ways, somatic heel drops, where you go on your toes and you simply lift your heels up and down, up and down. That's another beautiful way to regulate your nervous system. Box breathing. Box breathing is a beautiful way to regulate your nervous system. Even doing my little favorite trick of the peppermint balm, where you put 2 drops of peppermint essential oil, rub your hands together, and take a deep inhale. All of these tools are beautiful for regulating your nervous system. And it's not about being regulated 24/7. It's just about sending signals to your body that you are safe. And when your body feels safe, this is where the magic happens. So you will begin to start producing the hormones that you actually want, like progesterone, melatonin before bed, which is so important. Progesterone, I always say, is the opposing hormone to cortisol. When our cortisol is high, our progesterone is low, and vice versa. When our progesterone is high, our cortisol is low. And so when we produce more progesterone, it's like nature's Xanax. It's also the beauty hormone. Melatonin, of course, we're all familiar with for beautiful, deep, restful sleep. And this shift can help with anxiety, with sleep disturbances, with cravings, and with lack of motivation. So when your body feels safe, you are going to produce more happy hormones, healthy hormones, and therefore feel motivated to do all of the rest of our hacks and to do all of the things that we covered in last week's video, that beautiful meal prep, because your body will feel safe enough to not feel stuck in the state that you're currently in. Girls, the second hack is one you've heard me say over and over again, but I really want you to tune in when we're talking about this, and that is cycle syncing your workouts. Now, I am somebody who has been lifting heavier weights, not so much this summer because it's been a little bit busy. I've been doing more of the things like I did this morning, a bike ride with the kids, getting outside, getting my steps in, even in like 88-degree weather. Even when it was so hot outside, I also have been doing a ton of rebounding this summer and a little bit of Pilates, but nothing too extreme. But I used to, especially when I was trying to release weight about 3 years after I had Sawyer when I stopped nursing. And I'm somebody who definitely gets really thin when I'm nursing. And then after I'm done is when the weight can come on. When I was trying to release weight after I stopped nursing Sawyer, I was doing so much intense HIIT workouts and cardio, and I was not releasing the weight. Cycle syncing my workouts has been game changing. It has been absolutely game changing. So being aware of the days that you can lift heavier and being aware of the days that maybe you need to take it a little bit easier during your luteal phase and do that yoga and that walking. Whereas during your ovulation, you can do that really intense, heavy lifting. Your menstruation phase, I'm a big fan of stretching or even just resting. And then of course your follicular phase is best for that strength and cardio as well. But shifting this supports your cortisol curve. And when you can support your cortisol curve, it preserves your progesterone, like we talked about in our last hack, for supporting your nervous system. And this has helped so many women in my practice and inside Living Well reduce and or completely deduce their PMS symptoms. It's improved their energy, it's made them feel strong, and also it has helped them release weight without completely burning out. All right, girls, dinner was delicious. It just started downpouring, like literally raining sideways. And I had to run out and grab Sawyer's soccer ball and cleats. So my hair got wet. I managed to like grab a parka really quick, but now the sun is out and shining and beautiful, and we just had the most amazing rainbow. So that was like the highlight of my day. But one of the things about eating an earlier dinner is that obviously it gives you a ton of time to digest your foods. It helps with your overall sleep. It helps with the type of deep, restful sleep that you get. And in addition to that, it allows you to tune into how your meals are making you feel. If after you eat your dinner, you're still craving carbs, or you want something chocolatey or salty, at that point you might realize like potentially you need to bring in more sustenance to your dinner to keep you full and satiated. So that protein, that fat, that fiber, and a beautiful source of carbs is really important. Because I find that, let's say I just finished eating dinner, it is 7:00 p.m. I finished eating and cleaning up dinner. So we probably finished dinner at like 6:45 because cleanup was super simple. Kai and I tag teamed it. But what I'm saying is, let's say 9:00 rolls around, 1, at that point I'm in bed, I'm relaxing, I'm starting to unwind, hopefully I'm in bed. On these summer nights, it is quite challenging to get to bed that early, but if I find that I'm craving something that's a little bit more sweet or salty, or I want something at that point, I need to take a step back and look at my dinner. Did I finish? 1, did I finish my meal? 2, did I have enough sustenance? Did I have enough of the fibers on my plate? Did I have enough fat? Did I have enough protein? Did I get those healthy carbohydrates to help me feel satiated and to balance my blood sugar for the remainder of the evening? Because you do want to cut your mealtime off early enough that you feel rested and that your body can finish the heavy digesting before you head to bed. So that's kind of one of those things. But then from that, this kind of like segues into my next 2 tips. One is something that you can do earlier in the day and also in the evening time as well. And that is to schedule in time for cognitive rest. And what do I mean by cognitive rest? I don't mean this. I don't mean scrolling on your phone or going through social media posts, replying to those text messages, which I've been talking about is on my list right now, that I'm really working on being somebody who's more prompt at replying to my text messages, because it's definitely not a great quality of mine, but I do feel like I'm getting better. But when it comes to cognitive rest, this can look like a few different things. This can look like going out for a walk and leaving your phone, not listening to an audiobook, not listening to a podcast. Cognitive rest is not about sleep. It is literally about giving your brain 5 to 10 minutes of vacation time. I call it like paid time off. I'm gonna give my brain some PTO, is something I'll say to Kaya or I'll say to the kids. Now for me, a lot lately that has been reading. I just finished The Same Time Next Summer and I'm starting on Sandwich. I shared this with you girls a couple of weeks ago that this is a new book that I'm getting into. And so for me, I'm spending that time reading a book. Also, another cognitive break and cognitive rest that I like to take is walking. So you can definitely link this in with our cycle syncing movement, the second tip that I covered. You can definitely link those two together. Go outside, but I encourage you not to do it with your headset on, not listening to podcasts, not listening to a book, not catching up with a friend. Truly just getting and taking it all in, because from a neuroplasticity standpoint, it is important to use your senses. So you're visually seeing things, you're audibly hearing things, you're physically feeling your body move. And through those different sensations, it develops the ability to nourish your nervous system. Going back to the first tip that I shared, to nourish your nervous system and also to give your brain a break. Think about it like having your Chrome browser open and closing down all of the windows. You want to just minimize every single one of those windows, truly minimize them all, and just give your brain a break. Maybe it's opening up all the windows in the house and putting in a fresh essential oil blend in your diffusers throughout the house, and just opening up the windows, getting that fresh air in, listening to the sounds outside. Again, using those senses to really give your brain the ability to be where your feet are. I'm talking to myself right now through the camera because it is hard to do that. We have 1,000,001 things on our list, but if we want to really apply these hormone hacks to help us feel our absolute best, taking a daily cognitive rest is so important. I personally am trying my best to take at least 2 of them per day. In the morning, sure, I do have my cognitive rest when I'm making my lemon ginger tonic and I'm kind of still in that theta state where I'm slowly waking up. Sure, I do at that point have a bit of a cognitive rest, but I'm talking about in the middle of the day when things are heavy and things can feel overwhelming. That's a really good time to do so. So for me, summer reading is something that I'm really into. It's very convenient because the kids are doing their reading frequently throughout the day. It's a great opportunity for me to lead by example, number 1. And number 2, to spend some quality time with them. We'll all cuddle up on the couch. We'll read our book a little bit. We'll go outside on the back porch and we will read our book together. And it's a really great opportunity. Also, as mentioned, going for those walks, opening up your windows. Maybe it's just wiping down your countertops. You're not listening to anything. You're being consciously aware of taking that cognitive rest. And this will help your hormones exponentially because you're lowering your cortisol. You're being present. You are tapping into that parasympathetic nervous system, your rest and digest, going all the way back to our first tip. You know me, I always like to tie it up in a pretty little bow, but it is so important. It's so important because these are the hacks that aren't going to completely overhaul your life. They are mini micro changes that will pay dividends for years to come. Okay, and my last hack, my last absolute hack, quick, efficient, incredible hack for your hormone health is adding in magnesium. So for me, I always take 2 of the magnesium breakthrough from Optimizers before bed. Likewise, I take 1 in the morning alongside my vitamin D for optimal absorption. And I take 1 right around 2:45 in the afternoon. And I will my best try to time that with a cognitive rest because that gives me just like the biggest bang for my buck. But I said this to Sawyer the other day because Ronan is so incredible about taking his magnesium before bed. But I said to Sawyer the other day, and girls, magnesium, the Optimizers magnesium breakthrough, is like a lullaby for your hormones. Now hear me out because magnesium is necessary for over 300 enzymatic properties in our body. Our hormones are so dependent upon magnesium. It is a foundational building block. It is necessary for proper estrogen metabolization. It is incredible for that adrenal function and our cortisol levels. It is also imperative if you're somebody who suffers from PMS symptoms like backaches and or cramps. Magnesium is absolutely your best friend. Also, if you are that person after dinner, you've had a full satiating meal, but you still crave chocolates or sweets or salty foods, you are most likely magnesium deficient. And it is estimated that 70% of the American population is magnesium deficient. I would value to say it is much higher than that because due to soil depletion, monocropping, industrialized farming, our very busy lifestyle that we all lead, we're not getting enough magnesium in our diet from a day-to-day basis. So think about that sentiment that I said to Sawyer, but magnesium is absolutely a lullaby for your hormones. So I am going to hop into the shower, make a cup of tea, and take 2 of my magnesium breakthrough, and I will get the most incredible, deep, restful sleep, which in turn will help with my cortisol pattern tomorrow. It will help with my estrogen metabolization and detoxification tomorrow. So the better sleep that you have, the happier hormones that you have. And so these things, while we look at our hormones in many different buckets, these things congruently, absolutely, 1, piggyback off each other. And secondary to that, they work collectively and cohesively. They are our endocrine system. I always say, picture it like a circulatory system. From our pituitary gland to our thyroid, to our ovaries, to our adrenals, these things work in a circulatory system. And if there's a kink in the hose somewhere, our hormones will be absolutely impacted. And magnesium is a beautiful way to foundationally stabilize your body and your hormones and get you incredible, deep, restful sleep. So I will have my link for you as well as my code in the description box down below. If you've never tried the Optimizers Magnesium Breakthrough, it has all 7 elemental forms of magnesium, which is why I can take 1 with my vitamin D and not feel groggy, which is why I can take 1 at 2:45 p.m. and have it not knock me out, but why I can also take 2 of them before bed and get incredible sleep. If you're somebody who suffers in your luteal phase, I would highly encourage you to get your magnesium levels checked, 1, and number 2, add in an incredible supplement like the Optimizer's Magnesium Breakthrough. So you don't need a complete life overhaul. I hope that today's video showed you that. I hope that most of my videos honestly show you that, because there's so much that we can do with small, mini, micro changes, real life applicable raw lifestyle changes. And these 5 hacks have absolutely changed my life and the life of so many of my clients. And so I'm hopeful if you can pick up a few of these and integrate them into your lifestyle, that you will feel a noticeable difference. Now I want to hear from you in the comment section down below. Which hack spoke to you the most? Which one are you most excited to start implementing today to help stabilize your hormones and to feel steadier throughout the day? I would love to know in the comment section down below. And if you liked today's video, you can let me know by giving it a big thumbs up. And now the subscribe button is right over here on the screen. Give that a click, that way you don't miss a single video. And I hope to see you back here next Thursday.